ambulance time, so get yourselves a bar. And while you are here, why not check out the X-Boxers Association stand? Make sure you buy a calendar with all the Welsh champions inside the calendar. All the proceeds will go towards the Welsh X-Boxers Association. That's once again, the ambulance will return in 5 minutes' time. Thank you guys for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for your patience. As you know, we at MTK take safety very seriously, so thank you for your patience. And as soon as this ambulance gets back, we'll get the main event underway, which is Liam the Machine Williams versus Craig Nicholson. So as soon as that comes back, we will let you know. Thank you, guys. Thank you. and gentlemen, all officials to ringside. That's all officials to ringside. The ambulance has returned. The fight it will commence very shortly. So once again, all officials to ringside. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Let's get this main event underway. Thank you. and gentlemen, we are now ready for tonight's main event of the evening. Please welcome your first boxer into the ring from Gateshead, Craig Nicholson.
So here it is, tonight's top of the bill, and it's Craig Nicholson making his way to the ring. He stepped in at short notice to take this fight against Liam Williams. He boxes at around super middleweight, light heavyweight usually, Nicholson, but they managed to make this match work, which is a great credit to everybody involved, I have to say. Nicholson 4-2-1. I saw him against Dan Aziz a few months ago. Aziz, who's a very polished, capable fighter, a really promising boxer, got the stoppage against him.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent from Cardiff, Liam the Machine Williams.
Well, Liam Williams is a boxer of real ability, a former British and Commonwealth champion. Had those two fights with Liam Smith, of course, the first one being for the WBO interim title. A very controversial fight that was too. Williams being retired by his trainer at the time, Gary Lockett, after 9 rounds when he was up on a couple of the cards. And then in a rematch, it was Smith who got the win by majority decision over the 12 rounds. He split with Gary Lockett and is now with Dominic Ingle, who you see in the ring behind him there, joining a stable that contains the likes of Cal Brook, Billy Joe Saunders, Jay Quigley. Some serious operators up at the Winco Bank Gym as always. And it'll be very interesting to see if we notice any real difference in Williams since he's joined up there with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Eaton on behalf of MTK Global present 8 freedom rounds in the light heavyweight division. Live and exclusive on IFL TV. This is your main event of the evening. Cardiff, make some noise! Hands in the red corner with the black shorts with a silver trim. Weighing in at 12 stone 7 pounds. He has a record of 4 wins, 2 defeats and 1 draw. From Gateshead, Craig Nicholson! And his opponent fights of the blue corner, wearing the white shorts with a red trim. Weighing in at 12 stone 6 pounds. He has an excellent record of 17 wins, 2 defeats and 1 draw. He is the former British, Commonwealth and WBO European champion from Cardiff, Liam the Machine Williams. For the 12 referee in charge, the action, Mr. Reese Carter. Now time to develop Dave Walters.
Reese Carter, our referee for this one. Touch of gloves between the two. Williams was last in action in April. That was at the Ice Arena just down the road. He won by 3rd round stoppage against Darryl Sharp. And what was a similar kind of contest to this one, because Sharp is a campaigner at a higher weight. Liam Williams is, though, still a super welterweight, very much a super welterweight. The talk is that in his next fight he might be taking on James Metcalf for the WBC international title. Metcalf's also an MTK fighter, and both of them boxing on Frank Warren bills. It shouldn't be too difficult to make. There was talk of it for the undercard of Tyson Fury against Seferi in his comeback fight, but it didn't happen then. But it would certainly be an attractive matchup between those two. Metcalf was in the mix for that British title that Williams essentially was stripped of after his second fight with Liam Smith. It's a clause in the rules and regulations of the Border Control that if you're British champion and you take a fight that could be for the British title, so against another British fighter, and there's no other title on the line, and you don't put your British title on the line, then they take it off you. And that's what happened. Good fighter though, isn't he, Mike?
He's a terrific fighter. Little unfortunate in that first fight with Liam Smith, but he's definitely a legitimate top 15 junior middleweight in the world. Just got to be careful of Nicholson here. These fights always potential banana skins, but Williams had a pretty good start to this fight so far. Just getting his range and getting his rhythm.
It's an interesting division, actually, when you look up at the top end of it. Jarrett Hurd beating Erislandy Lara, that was a massive performance, and I was always an admirer of Hurd because I just loved the way that he brought it, but I must admit I didn't really think he'd be able to do it against Lara because he's got all those cute, slick Cuban skills, but he did. And it was a great credit to him that he did. There's one of the Charlos, of course. Jamal Charlo, who's a champion.
Of course, there's
weight as well.
Jaime Munguia now. Very strong kid, the WBO champion.
Absolutely. Big right hand there for Williams, who fancies it tonight, I think, by the look of him. He's come out with real aggression here. It's a stacked division. Williams wants to get himself up into that mix. It's a very interesting one domestically too. You look at the likes of Kell Brook, you look at Liam Smith and Cheeseman, Asinia Byfield, who boxed for the British title, Metcalf, who I mentioned. On the rise below them, the likes of Anthony Fowler, Scott Fitzgerald.
There's a lot of depth in the UK.
Final few seconds of round one. And Williams doesn't really look like he wants to fight 8 rounds here tonight. There's the first one in the books. And a good aggressive start there for Williams. Dominic Ingle quickly into the ring. And similar to Saunders, for Williams, it'll see him away from home for training camps for the first time. Just that kind of adjustment of mindset we were talking about earlier on. Maybe toughens you up, hardens you up a bit.
Yeah, I think so. And some fighters need to get away from home just to find their focus or to be outside of their comfort zone. Like I said earlier, the Ingle camp, they're very hard taskmasters. So I think maybe Liam Williams felt that's what he needed to really shake up his career. See, they're pumping that jab. It's a very good technical fighter, Liam Williams.
Seconds out, round 2.
Nicholson is a very interesting character. He was unbeaten in his first incarnation of professional boxing. Then had a 5-year layoff and has been in the fire his last 3 fights. Or last 4 now, including tonight.
Looking for the jab there again, Williams. It's something you see every now and again, isn't it? A fighter starts out as a prospect maybe, and then they drift away from boxing. Maybe selling the tickets is a bit too difficult and things just don't quite work out, and then they come back into it later on and they're on the other side of the tracks.
It's a very different mentality. I guess there has to be some adjustment.
Looking for the right hand, and he's come spilling out of the ring here and collapsed onto the commentary table right next to me, and he'll be held back into the ring. He wasn't knocked through the ropes by Liam Williams, and the top rope of the ring is snapped as well and come away from the turnbuckle in the corner away to the right, so that'll take a little bit of fixing. And well, it's been a night for delays here so far. He just listed back into the ropes there, Nicholson. The top rope gave way and he ended up taking a seat, or rather a prone position, just away to our left-hand side. You do see this every now and again. It's not as unusual as people may think. It generally results, or can often result, in the fighter being knocked through the ropes. If you spill over the ring apron when you've been knocked through the ropes, you then have 20 seconds to get back in and demonstrate your fitness to continue, and you cannot be helped by anybody else at ringside. So we were careful there not to lay our hands on him and give him any assistance, just in case the referee decided that that was a knockdown, which it wasn't. But all hands to the pump here. Dominic Ingle getting involved on the far side, and well, this is not the kind of scenario that you encounter every day.
No, that's the first time I've almost been crushed in commentary, I've got to say.
Well, all sorts of things can happen at ringside. You just get used to it, you really do. And Williams on the far side of the ring just
fortunately, Nichols is all good from that. No damage incurred.
Well, if he'd landed a little bit further to the right-hand side, then he would have been right on top of the replay screen and right on top of all this kit you see in front of us here and all the sharp edges on that, and that could have been bad news indeed.
Yeah, exactly right. Just kind of fortunate where he landed there.
So there we go. Those are the repairs that are being undertaken at the moment, and it's not going to be easy this either, because they're going to have to try and stitch this together somehow, and the good old reliable gaffer tape there is being asked to play a role.
They'll gradually get there. I was telling you earlier in the commentary that I was at Sheffield at the GB training centre. They've got 5 rings at the training centre. See, if we were there, we could have just moved it to another ring.
It is some setup there. I went to the academy in Kazakhstan a couple of years ago. I was over for the
Astana.
That's it. I was over there for the WSB finals. Same thing, isn't it? Massive big barn of a place. 4 big rings all together in the middle, and then a little kind of track out the back for cardio work. And you see them get to work in there, and it's some sight. It really is.
It's a fantastic program, but boxing really is the national sport in Kazakhstan. It has been for a long time, really, from Vasily Girov winning that gold medal in '96. Even the light middleweight division, if you look at the history of it, Kazakhstan's dominated that weight class since the 2000 Olympics.
Oh, it's been their weight, hasn't it? I think they've won gold in it 4 times in a row.
Yeah, that's correct.
Daniel Yulushinov being the most recent one in Rio.
And the previous Olympics, because there was no 69 kilogram division, there was only 67.5, and the Kazakh won that. So if you technically look at it, it's been 5 straight Olympic Games.
So there we go. They've done a very, very good job there, I must say. They've done that in speedy time, because I was beginning to wonder if Liam Williams' fight here was going to turn out to be a little bit cursed. His original opponent pulled out late on. Nicholson stepped up, and then bang goes the top rope.
We almost had the cancellation before this fight as well.
Absolutely. Referee just testing it out. He's got to be absolutely sure that this will hold, because what we cannot have here is one of them spilling over the top of the rope, through the rope again. And these are fairly big units, these two as well.
Well, they had 2 malfunctions tonight, a glove malfunction and a rope malfunction.
So back into it, just under 2 minutes left in round 2.
Williams, a very good fundamental fighter. You see everything works off that jab of his.
Just let fly with a big winging hook. Didn't land it. Nicholson looks nice and organised though. Plenty of movement from him using those feet. Decent jab there from Nicholson, just caught Williams as he was moving to his right.
Yeah, it is pesky kind of jab.
Left hand didn't quite reach there, he just sunk into the ropes there, Nicholson. Bit of marking up around his right eye though. The man in the black shorts. Looks for a left to the body. And this could really warm up into a good fight, I think. Body shot there, though, from Williams. It's an absolute wounder. And down goes Nicholson, and this is going to take some getting up from. It really is. Right above us, and he's not going to make it. He's never going to make it. That left hand was absolutely perfectly placed. We got a great view of it. It was right above us, and as soon as it landed, you could just see the pain etched all over his face. He went down, tried to get back to a knee, onto his knees, to see if he could do anything about it. But when one of them lands, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do.
No, exactly. Right on the money spot.
Well, that was a fearsome, fearsome shot, and he's still feeling it now. And this is just some action from earlier in the round, and this is where he goes over through the top rope again, actually. And the rope seems to have given way again, actually, up to our right-hand side. So good job this finished when it did. Just pins him back on the ropes. And here we go. Here's this body shot. Let's have a look. Bang.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right on the floating rib. I've never taken one, I'm glad to say, but everybody I know who has. I've done a lot of work with Matthew Macklin, and he took one off Gennady Golovkin, and he said that when you get nailed there on the sweet spot, there's nothing sweet about it. If you're the one who receives it, then there's just nothing you can do about it. It's a short circuit, is how he described it. The floating rib just cannons into the liver. It's fairly graphic.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And it's at 20, 30 seconds where it paralyzes an opponent. It's all that's needed to be counted out.
Exactly, exactly. And you see a lot of them. You see a lot of great exponents of body punching. It's not really an underrated skill, I wouldn't say. Maybe for a little while it was, but in the last few years it's certainly come back into its own, I think. And Williams just landed an absolutely perfect one there. If you could just sneak it in around the back of the forearm and land it, then that really very much is always likely to be that.
Absolutely.
Performance there from Liam Williams. Craig Nicholson 100% knows what he's doing in there, and he is a light heavyweight by trade between super middleweight and light heavyweight. Williams so giving away a bit of weight tonight, although he does put on a fair amount of weight after he weighs in, so he was happy to take the fight. Just a real stamp of quality from him, and that's the difference when you get an operator
for a
like
short
him.
night. He got it.
He's a class fighter, former British champion, former Commonwealth champion. He was not too far away from a world title shot. If he managed to beat Liam Smith, then he would have been in line to fight Saddam Ali. It turned out to be Munguia that Liam Smith took on in the end. And as you say, he is a legitimate top 15 fighter. And he will crack that with some of the governing bodies. I think he's probably still a little bit bruised by the defeats to Liam Smith. I'm not criticising Gary Lockett here at all, because I thought he did the right thing, but I think in a fighter's mind you're probably always going to wonder about that first fight and whether he could maybe have continued and got the win.
Especially because the cut was produced on an accidental foul, so he would have felt hard done by regardless, but he is rated in the top 15 in the IBF and the WBO, and I'm sure if he keeps winning, his opportunity will come again.
Well, I hope so. It's good to see him back in the ring tonight. It's been good to watch this evening. It's been good to watch in pretty much all the ring outings we've seen from him in recent times, and he has made his way over to ringside fairly slowly, but he's on the apron now, and he is ready to have a chat with Sophia. Our final interview of the night.
Congratulations, that's now 2 back-to-back wins after your narrow defeats to Liam Smith last year. Keen to get back to winning ways now. You pleased with that? Good knockdown?
Yeah, I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready to go back now in big fights. You know, I felt like I had to take this fight tonight just to get me back out. Obviously, I got a new trainer in Dominic Ingle.
Obviously, it was a bit of a distraction for you because it was a late change yesterday.
A little bit more feel for each other. Obviously, it's a different thing to. You can spar as much as you like in the gym, but you get into a fight with a different atmosphere, and you got to know each other a little bit more than that. So I thought it was really good that we had a chance to get a little run out, although we only had 2 rounds, you know.
I was going to say, even though it was a late change of opponent as of yesterday, it clearly didn't affect your performance today. Did you know much about him?
To be honest, I think I would have got rid of the other guy easier, because this guy, you've seen the size of him, he's massive.
Yeah, he landed on me when he fell out the ropes.
He's a light heavyweight. I'm a light middle, you know, so I blew up to the weight to fight him, and I drank like best part of 3 litres on the way to the weigh-in, just to try and match him for weight a little bit, not to give him that psychological edge. Not that would have helped him, to be honest, but you know, it's just one of them things.
Now, I know you want to be back into, obviously, title contention. You've talked about potentially another opponent, another MTK fighter, JJ Metcalf, unbeaten. Is that something you would be chasing or interested?
That's what I want next. Unless something bigger, you know, presents itself, I want Metcalf because, and it's nothing personal against him. It's just a lot of people talking about the fight, and I think he's a good fighter. And I do, you know, we've had a little bit of banter on social media or whatever, but I rate him. I think he's a good guy, and I think it'd be a very good fight for the fans and everyone in general.
You've recently changed trainers to Dominic Ingle. You've obviously recently signed with MTK. The changes, you seem to be relishing them, working out for you well.
Yeah, I'm genuinely loving boxing again. You know, the last year, I've been on it. I've always been dedicated and whatever, but the last year, I kind of lost that motivation to want to prove myself to people, and I was just like, you know, I'll just keep fighting. I'll keep pulling a couple of quid in, like, and for me, that ain't the way to go forward. So I took it upon myself to move to Dom Ingle, and I think, you know, it's only a round and a half or whatever today, but I think it showed that I'm really working well with him, and I respect every word he says, so I listen to him, and, you know.
He's such a well-respected trainer within the industry.
Yeah, just being around him in the gym, you know, you feel he's the boss, he's in control, but he's not overpowering, he's nice with it, you know, so I'm very happy where I am at the moment, and I believe within the next year I can win a world title.
And again, how great to be back, because you fight away from home a hell of a lot, so it must be so nice to be back in front of your home fans in Wales.
It is, yeah, it's very nice to be back home, you know. I was last fight, but they lower key fights. I want to be back home in the big fights where people really get to see a fight, you know. I believe I'm going to be a different animal, and Dominic Ingle, no disrespect, Guy Lockett, because I believe he's a good trainer, and I got massive respect for him. I love him like, you know, one of my family. So, but I think me and Dominic Ingle we are the ones.
Well, it looks like a very exciting formula in there. Thank you, well done, and congratulations on the win again today.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
That's all from us tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries. And that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.